Welcome to iFuxxs Anime, where we talk about anime that we fucks with. Today's guest is
Jeffrey.
in the anime that we're going to be talking about today is
Ninja Kamui.
Cue the montage. Bam! And that's Ninja Kamui. How you say Kamui?
Kamui.
Kamui?
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't say that right. Watched the whole damn series, loved it, but still can't say Ninja Kamui right. Kamui, right?
Yeah.
All right. Japanese words fuck me up all the time, even though I've been watching Japanese anime majority of my life. But,
Yeah. I feel you.
So with this one, you actually recommended it to me.
Yeah.
What made you click on this anime?
So I was seeing like commercials for it, like, for on Toonami cartoon or Adult Swim for Toonami. And what made me finally watch it was there was an episode. It was the episode where they're on the road and they're getting like shot up.
Yeah.
And then I saw the FBI agent guy and I was like, that a black dude? I was like, wait, what? So then it did still take me a little while to watch it. But when I watched it, I just binged it on Max and just watched the whole thing in like a day.
You know, it's a wild thing how far anime has come when we talk about blacks in anime. Like, we remember what our representation used to look like.
Yeah, remember Dragon Ball?
Mr. Popo. Oh, Kame. Fuck
There's
Kame.
Mr. Popo, and then there was they'd have the guys with the big old lips.
During the Cell saga.
Yeah.
And it's so funny, too. It's like, I love Dragon Ball Z and all, but it's like, come on now.
Exactly.
That's why I'm forgetting the creator name that passed.
Toriyama.
Toriyama, right? It's just like, hey, man, you gave us something great that we all cherish. Shit, that takes me back to my high school days and stuff. But, yeah, kind of fuck you, too.
Yeah, that was weird.
You know, I can separate certain things. You
Yeah.
know, it's like I can love a piece of art and not love certain parts of that art.
Yeah.
Like, again, I love Dragon Ball Z. But it's like, hey, the dude was kind of like a racist piece of shit.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
That's unfortunately, like, that region can be very racist. I mean, I remember watching a Chinese commercial when I was in school that they showed us where they throw this black dude in a washer and then he comes out and he's Chinese.
that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Racist as fuck. But
Yeah.
funny is funny, fuck. You know? But, so, it's funny. So when you recommended this to me, like, I actually know much about it at all. And there was another anime that I had in mind that I thought you were talking about, but I just so happened to land on the correct one. And when it started out, you know, my critique of Japanese animation over the years has been their obsession with Caucasians. And like a lot of the people are supposed to be Japanese don't look very Japanese. It's like, look at Goku. Like, he's like, he has white skin, Japanese eyes, in a black person physique. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, people, we're never really going to get a true live action Dragon Ball Z.
No, you can't because there's no one that looks like that exists.
Exactly. Even though technically Goku isn't even Japanese, right? He's a saint. So he's not even human.
Well, that's why they got away with casting a white dude.
They didn't though.
No,
for
they
evolution.
didn't. They
It's
didn't.
Like, people still looked at it as
Yeah, it was still
whitewashing,
weird.
right? But it's like, well, actually, they're not whitewashing Goku because Goku's not even fucking human. So that part doesn't matter. Boomer, on the other hand,
Yeah. That was they cast white people when they shouldn't have.
right. Even though it's like, was Boomer ever Japanese?
I thought she was, but they don't really. I mean, that world is never really explained in terms of where these people live. It's just like East City, West City.
True. Wait, are they even in Japan? Do they ever say they're in Japan?
I don't think they do. I don't think they do.
It's like Capsule City or some shit, right?
Yeah, they're all just like
That
names of cities.
That they invented.
Yeah.
Like her family, right?
Yeah.
Huh. Funny. We keep talking about Dragon Ball. We know we talking about Ninja Kamui. But yeah, so when it opens up and we're following that white family, and I'm a bit confused.
I mean, I was too. I was like, wait, what is happening?
Right? And then there's a whole song montage. You sing Into the Sun and all this stuff, right? And then we see, one guy get hunted down and killed by these ninjas and stuff. And I'm like, what is happening with this shit? And then it turns. And it's revealed that, no, these people are Japanese. They're just in disguise because they are on the run from their clan.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, started to pique my interest a bit. And then the action, though, man. How'd you feel when the action starts? Especially, I feel, for me, the action really starts to take off when he's in the morgue and he wakes up.
Yeah.
And then the other ninjas come down.
Yeah, that scene on the roof is crazy.
Right.
That fight on the roof is insane.
What do you feel about that scene?
That's what hooked me, honestly.
Yeah. It's as we're seeing now, like, you can tell the budget that they have for this thing. And as how they choreograph everything. I mean, it also just takes me back a bit to like just blood, the bloodlust of anime. And when I think about certain classic animes like from 1993, Ninja Scroll, and how bloody that was, right? But of course, this is still an era of anime where they like damn near every movie has like a hardcore rape scene. Or there's a sex scene in it where it doesn't quite fit. Even though I feel Ninja Scroll, the way they did it made sense a bit, where we learned that this person's skin is poison and stuff, right? But to see Ninja Kamui like not have that, but have great bloody, overdone violence, which I'm all for in anime, and then seeing how the story starts to take off from there, and it becomes a bit of a revenge story because again, too, there's this hardcore killing. Like, it kills this man's wife and kid, in like brutally, and stuff, right? And they come back from him because it's like he's supposed to be dead, and in this anime, they have these secret ninja arts, and at this point, they're thinking his secret ninja art is to come back from life.
Yeah.
And then later on, of course, we find out that wasn't his secret ninja art. That was his wife's secret ninja art.
And then they're like, wait, did she teach him her secret ninja art? Because that's one of the no-nos. You're not supposed to teach people that unless you're going to pass it on to them.
Right. And she didn't. Like, it's funny, like them being married and them not knowing each other's secret ninja art, even though they were no longer in their clan anymore.
Yeah.
They still followed that rule. But going back to the black detective, or not detective, well, he's an FBI agent.
Yeah, FBI agent. Well, at that point, I thought he was a detective because you see him in that trench coat and he's shooting behind that car. I'm like, is he like, what's happening?
True. Because a lot of shit happens all at once and you don't know. Like, they're a bit unapologetic about throwing so much at you at first and knowing that, hey, it's a series and things are going to make sense as it goes along. And I'll be honest, I like that a lot. I don't like it when a story like holds my hand and there's so much exposition, and we know with anime, they can be so heavy with exposition, and I feel that this one didn't do that.
Yeah.
This one, again, trusted that it's a series and then let things develop over time, and there were like plenty great twists. I mean, that fucking fight scene where they're in, I believe, Chinatown in San Francisco.
Yeah.
In that restaurant.
That restaurant scene's crazy. Those two guys dressed like the delivery guys come in.
The setup for that, where it's like you have that world's version of DoorDash coming in, getting packages and stuff for orders, fulfilling orders and stuff, and then bam, one of them is not as it appears, and then the one splits to two.
Mm-hmm.
Like that whole scene was nuts. I'm trying to think. Yes, at that point the FBI agent partner was introduced.
Yeah. She was there. She wasn't there, but she was introduced.
Yeah. And the relationship between the two of them. And then again, like I felt this anime has just so many great twists, especially when it comes to, let's say, like the depth of his partner, where we find out much later that she's a ninja herself under deep cover. Let me ask you though, did that fully make sense?
It did when I watched it. I thought it was fine. I mean, I feel like she didn't necessarily have to be an FBI agent. She could have just been like, I think it would have been more effective for her to infiltrate the company.
I think before we get to the company, they already had a person there, the bodyguard.
Or that's true.
So
that's true.
But the part that didn't make sense though was she's watching the FBI agent because I'm calling him Ducky. What is his name?
His name is Mike Morris.
No, not the FBI agent.
Oh,
the lead character.
Oh, his name. What is his name?
Because FBI agent, I've only called him Ducky.
Is Hagen.
Okay.
Joe Logan was his white name.
That's funny. Joe Logan is a super white name. So Hagen. So the reason why she was the FBI agent partner is because Hagen came back to life.
Right, and what's wild is that I see what you're saying. It doesn't make sense because how could she have known that was gonna happen?
Right, and she was his partner for a while. Like they had a relationship. They had chemistry.
Yeah, so it's like, what was she investigating before? We really don't know. We never really find that out.
Now they already had the tech company already had their hands in the pocket of the FBI, right? Now, if they would have played it like she was sent there from jump, and it just so happened that this happened, right?
Yeah.
Because it makes sense that she's in that region too, because that's where the tech company is.
Yeah.
And so she's there to make sure that the FBI fall in line with everything, and she's spying that whole region. But that ain't what they said.
No.
Right? And so that to me was a little bit weird. But hey, plot holes aside, still like the writing between the two of them, you know.
It's so good. You definitely get that father-daughter dynamic.
Right. Because it's like, I thought it was a wise move that they added that in there because, damn it, what's the lead character name again?
Hagen.
Because I keep just want to call him Ducky because I don't think the FBI guy never called him anything but Ducky, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like every time I say Ducky, he black, I'm black, Ducky. That's your nickname. I get it. So from Ducky, it's not like we ever got much of his personality because it was so much of a revenge story. And so it's like you have to show everyone else's personality. And he's kind of just the force to move the story along, the catalyst to move the story forward.
Yeah.
You know, in the world around him is used to like for those emotional beats that we need to stay in tune. Because I'm a person when I love violence, but when there's so much just violence, I get bored.
Yeah.
You know, in Jujutsu Kaisen, like on the episode we'll go to that, but one of his most famous like fight scenes is like I kind of like started to doze off.
Yeah.
But even with some of these, even though these fight scenes are amazing, and the budget for this show had to be crazy, like how long it probably took them to make this.
Shout out William Street. I did look it up. They executive produced it. So shout out to them.
They did such an amazing job. And again, like these characters' backstories, like these are some of my most like favorite backstories I've ever seen in any like anime. Like how deep they were.
Yeah.
The wife, you know, her many levels and stuff, like her level of empathy for others. You know, when the partner was revealed that she's a ninja under deep cover, and we saw that like no one really knew what her face looked like because of like how disfigured she was and how she was given up by her parents, but yet you have but the wife, like that character.
Yeah, she developed the whole like thing, didn't she? The oh, sorry.
You good?
She developed the whole like
The tech.
Yeah, the tech to hide their faces for her, if I remember correctly.
Which is a bit of a wild thing too, because it's like you would figure that character was great with tech. Not So first off, let me let y'all know, people. Anime names. Dragon Ball Z doesn't get enough credit for creating great anime names.
They're so simple and easy to say.
Exactly. let me take that back. Great anime names for me to remember.
Yeah.
I be loving these animes. I can't remember no one's fucking name, and so hey, I know some people are possibly watching this foaming at the mouth, but hey, others it's like they say a name and I'm like, all right, that's in one ear out the other. So, anyways, the deep cover FBI agent. So you would figure she would be the one to develop that tech because tech was her thing. Now, I also do love the part that, like, again, the multi-layers of her, and then that whole idea of, like, ninja, because it's like she pretended to be weaker than she was when she met the wife, like, because and it turns out her job was to find the proper successor for the clan.
Yeah.
And she was so much about clan first. Like, that's just another thing you just don't see coming, which I thought was...
Well, yeah, because she literally stayed to see how things were going to shake out when they got a new leader.
Right, and then it turns out, too, that the former leader was still around. You know, it was just like in a different form, though, because he was killed but not killed.
Yeah, yeah, they killed him, but, like, he changed forms, because I think that was his secret ninja art.
Mm-hmm. And then, the fact that it's like... he was introduced before we even knew of his existence, you know. Which again just dope. But back to the wife, like how when we meet the Reaper, what's Reaper's real name? Fuck it.
Yeah.
The cool nickname.
That's a great name. Yeah. Anyway, the Reaper.
So we meet the Reaper, and again, hey, we're gonna be bouncing around a bit, but the introduction to the Reaper was great. Where it's one of the lieutenants who's talking about him, and the perverted lieutenant, and then he's like, "Aren't you going to send the Reaper?" Then we see the Reaper hunting down former ninjas and stuff, right? And then like he has such a cool introduction and a cool look, but when we get his backstory a bit, and we learn that as a kid he's pretty much been sex trafficked.
Yeah,
and like that's nuts to put in anime.
It is.
And because he was rescued by the ninjas and shit, and how they came through, fucked them all up, and then like when he got out of his cell, like the guy who was trying to touch him, like who you can tell has raped him before or molested him before, or let's just say, fuck it. Raped him before. Like this family, I was gonna say rape because I know this is going on YouTube, and then rape's one of those words that they put your video down in the algorithm. But hey, this is called iFuxxs anime. So for these first couple of episodes, we ain't bleeping. We taking it.
We taking it all. Yeah.
The beauty of not having that large of an audience. Hey, watch us grow though, people, please.
Yeah, please.
But it's just like how they saw he had that killer instinct in him, like when he even though that dude was dead, he made sure he was like,
Yeah, he was like, I'm a you double, triple, quadruple tap.
exactly. But it was like the wife who had brought those, like all three of them together, and like how they made that pact.
Mm-hmm.
As I say that question, why didn't she bring the other girl in on that pact? It's called the shapeshifter, pretty much.
I feel like they don't really show the timeline as clearly as they should, because I feel like she met that girl after they were already all friends.
You know what? You're right. It does feel that way.
Like that's how that's what I literally how I felt. I was like, oh, okay, they were all cool, because they were all training together for a minute since they were like kids, right?
Yes, and you never. And she had been a ninja, but the girl had been a ninja since she was a kid too.
Yeah,
but it seemed like
she's younger than them though.
Yes, yeah. And she was like trained away from them.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, because they were looked at as the three top dogs, and then yes, and she came in a little bit later than them, like a couple of classes.
And then she put her on. Then the wife put her under her wing.
Right. But that was all for gays, though.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, she was deceiving her, because it was just like she was really there to watch her. And I like the differences a bit where they were leaving and the Reaper was there. And when she was leaving and the chameleon girl was there.
Mm-hmm.
And how they both couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, the Reaper and the chameleon. Yeah. But the Reaper, though, being truly broken, that they left, because it's like it seemed like more than the clan, he loved them too, because they taught him to love again, to trust people again.
Yeah.
And then so when they left, it was just like,
it was heartbreaking to watch, dude.
Yeah, that was
it
like
was heartbreaking to watch. Yeah.
Because it's like, fuck, you know.
Yeah.
But they fell in love, and so he's just funny. The husband and wife, they fell in love with each other, but the Reaper fell in love with them, and like the friendship, the bond that they had.
And he couldn't understand that didn't mean that he loved that they loved him any less. I think that was the disconnect with them. Is that I think he thought that. At least for me, my interpretation of his reaction to them leaving was, oh, so like y'all are together, so like where does that leave me?
To dive a little bit deeper, I guess it kind of alluded to this a little bit, but like, of course, I mean, not of course, but there's a good reason why he probably couldn't even understand, because of like what was taken away from him at such a young age.
Yeah.
You know, like being a sexual assault victim. Damn, this show's wild, because it's like you have all that, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, as we get into the villains of it all,
he had minor like sociopathic tendencies too, where like he probably couldn't even understand the emotion anyway fully.
Right.
You know.
To touch on that, right, and then to also touch on like the social commentary of today's society that this show was trying to say, like the main villains being a tech company, and that tech company close ties to like the world leaders, and leveraging what they wanted to get done, what this tech company wants against these world leaders and stuff. And then how the ninjas, like this tech company is using the ninjas to do its dirty work to gain more power, even though the ninjas were assigned to them through the government.
Yeah.
And then the clan deciding to use the tech company because they're like, hey, we're always used to keep the peace for others. But fuck that. Let's just create our own new world order. And so we can keep the peace the way we see fit. And so we don't have to like rely on the people who hire us.
Yeah, on governments.
Exactly,
Because
right?
they worked for the Japanese government at first, and then they worked for the American government because they could pay them more, and then they're like, yeah, no, we're going solo. We're mercenaries now, basically.
It's just so funny. It's like this show has all that going on. Like what they're saying about tech, what they're saying about the government, what they're saying about sexual assault, what they're saying about sex trafficking, what they're saying about, I guess, just violence in general, right? The story never felt like it was too much being thrown at us at once.
No, it didn't. Everything was paced so well that you had time to digest everything as it came to you. They let it breathe.
Exactly, exactly. It felt like, I mean, that writing room seemed to have a lot of just well-rounded people in it. It's going back to just the representation of black people in it, because it's like, okay, you have three black characters in it, or three main black characters. You have the FBI agent and two ninjas who are also lieutenants, right? And now I think about it, when it comes to the lieutenants that are ninjas, I guess majority of them were black. Since it was two of them, right?
Yeah, there's not that many of them.
Because you had that one dude that I believe was German or Swiss, I forget. But the sicko guy,
Yeah.
and then
Oh well, yeah, the short one.
Yeah.
Lil, I think his name is Lil.
then you had of course Reaper. Am I forgetting one besides the two black ones?
Oh no. Big D is the guy with the flat top.
Yeah.
That's Big D. And
Right.
then Reaper is no, Reaper's not black.
No. But I'm talking about the bodyguard.
Oh, the girl.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So it was like shit. The majority of the lieutenants were
Yeah.
black ninjas, which is crazy. But like, we're used to seeing one type of black person in something, right? Where it's in this we have three different type. Of course, like the FBI agent is going to be much different from the ninjas, right? But even with the two ninjas, where you have Big D is such like style, but honor, but right, and then the woman body, the woman ninja who's assigned to protect the CEO of that tech company. She in so many ways is such like a nurturing type, and she's so like calm with things, right? Whereas it's like you have two different kind of calms, because Big D is like, he's calm, but he's cool, he's styled, he's and everything, right?
He's like he's like Bushido Brown, right?
Who?
Boondocks.
Oh yes, yeah. Exactly. He's very much so like him. And where she, on the other hand, she's somewhat similar to have you seen The Harder They Fall?
Yeah.
She's somewhat similar to Regina King's character in The Harder They Fall.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like so loyal. To this individual, where it's more than just the cause, because it's like she's sent there to protect him, but of course it's clan first, but she falls in love with the tech CEO guy.
You know, because she gets to really know him.
Right. And she believes in his cause. You know, where again, it's like a theme throughout this whole series is these ninjas having a cause that they believe in. You know, where Big D, he was just so much about like an honorable fight. You know, but what I loved is like they put a fucking barbershop scene in an anime.
That was so cool.
Right? And then it was like a legit one. It didn't feel forced. It felt like something too that we would create.
Yeah.
You know, where I don't know if they had black people on staff, but it seemed like they definitely consulted with folks. If they didn't consult with people, that they did their damn research at least.
Yeah, I feel like William Street was like, yo, we're not putting money into something that could possibly get us canceled. So
Hey, especially it's like in today's world, it's so easy to do proper research where it's...
Well, that's what I wanted to talk about. Is the world is so small now, you kind of don't really have an excuse.
Sure. I think what happens though, it's where are you looking?
Yeah.
Because what happens is coming from the film industry, what I would see at times with music videos, it's people don't realize this. A lot of people that don't, when it comes to hip hop music videos, a lot of people that look like us are not the creatives behind it.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of times it's white people. And because you have these people who run these hip hop record labels that they put a lot of white people in charge of, and then they hire white directors and cinematographers. And when these white directors and cinematographers are doing what they're doing, their research and creating these treatments for these music videos, they are researching other music videos that were also created by white people. And then so you have a misinterpretation of the culture being put out there because it's the blind copying the blind.
Yes.
Whereas this one, it's different. It's either they have the correct people in the writing room, or they have consultants, or they are wise enough to look in the right direction.
Yeah.
And I think only time you know where to look is when you are pointed in the right direction.
Yes.
And I will say there has been the dark side of Japanese culture when it comes to the representation of blacks, but there's also the other side that love black culture.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, hell, Kanye was just fucking in Japan.
He was. that concert looked crazy.
Right? Our listening party, because he performs a little bit and walks around.
Yeah, he literally does.
Oh, the venues look great.
Yeah.
The venues look amazing. I think it was so he went to South Korea first, then Japan, and now he's in China. And then that one crazy stadium that they have out there.
Yeah, the one in China was the one with the grass, right? In the middle of it?
I thought that was the one in Japan. Because I thought the one in China, that happens on the 28th.
I could be wrong. You're probably right.
I don't know. But anyways, but going back to it though, so having these three very distinct black characters in a anime where it's like that's not the focus, right? Like it's still the focus is our main character. It's a revenge story, but they did a great job of making that world feel very much so lived in.
Yeah.
Where I felt like no character kind of got done dirty. Even the dude who was the former employee of that tech company, who they eventually linked up with, who was trying to like take them down.
Oh yeah, that let them into the city.
Yeah, like that guy. I thought he was just gonna be in there one episode. He's in, he's out. But no, they do a good deep dive into who he is.
Yeah, he linked up with them for a minute.
Right, and eventually like has to take the chameleon girl place a bit because then the surprise happens when she dies.
Yep.
And the way she dies is like whoa, like. I love a show that's not afraid to kill off characters that we care about because I cared a lot about her. And that detective made you, like the detective and the wife made you care a lot about her.
Yeah. That detective, his story was so sad too.
Because of what happened to like his daughter.
His daughter. That's why his relationship with his partner was so strong because he saw her as his daughter, like his chance to make up for the mistakes he made with his daughter,
right?
And that was so heartwarming to see,
and for them to add that other element into it too, where again it's like it's a deep
it's deep,
show.
It's so deep, because then once you realize that, then you see why he's so down for the cause. Because he's like, damn, this is a guy who's trying to avenge his family. And, I mean, I wish I would have fought harder for mine.
The motivations that they gave behind their characters were great. It's like you believed them.
Yeah, everyone felt, everything that everyone did felt motivated.
Even even one of the main villains, you know, the tech CEO, because I say this often about a lot of these guys. These tech CEOs and stuff, it's like, it's not about the money with them.
No.
It's about them trying to be God. and because them trying to shape the world in their image, right? I think that's actually human nature. I say often that, there's three types of people in this world. There's the people who go by their day by day. There's a majority of the people who are trying to find God, and then there are the very, very few who are trying to become God.
Yes.
And so in this one too, you have those. You have your detective who's going by day. You have your ninjas and stuff who are trying to find God, and they find it in the clan, right? And oftentimes too, these are orphans.
Yeah.
That don't have anything, right? And then you have those who are trying to become God, where the tech CEO and then the leader of the clan.
Yeah.
And of course, people who are trying to find God are going to clash with each other, and then for them to show that, and how these two people are constantly playing chess with each other when it comes to the tech CEO and the leader of the clan.
Yeah.
And so, but that character, how he just I feel the greatest villains always think that they're not the villain.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. Every time.
Right?
Every time. Those are the ones.
And he sees himself as doing something right. And so does the leader of the clan. He's like, hey, I'm trying to bring peace to this world. The other one's like, I am too. I'm trying to advance this world. He created a whole city. Right? But it's the issue with the people who are trying to become God is what their vision is will not be good for some.
Yes.
It could be the few, or sometimes it can be the majority. But they don't care about that.
No, they don't.
Because they're thinking, hey, the ones that it does help, those are my people, those are my following.
And that's literally that, right? Those are my followers. My followers are the only ones that deserve to benefit from my plan anyway. So.
Right. And we see that with a lot of these people today. We see that with, let's say names, with the Elons, with the Zuckerbergs, with Bill Gates, with even people like Kanye. Love his music, and I love a lot of things that a lot of these people do. But it's up to the people to kind of hey, bring them back. Hey, you're not God.
Yeah, you're not, chill.
Right. Hell, Travis Scott got a whole song about it. Stop trying to be God.
He did.
That is not who you are.
That's so funny that you brought up Kanye and then Travis Scott's song.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Great album.
He said, "Stop trying to be God Almighty."
Yeah, he's like, that's not who you are.
It's not.
He said,
"That's not your job."
Yeah. And it takes the people to remind them of that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, what you are doing with that ambition and with your skill sets is great, but it's like you're taking it to a point where you're doing more harm than good.
Yes.
But when we look at Ninja
Kamui,
they avoided certain things. They avoided the Mr. Popo situation. Yeah. They avoided certain other anime situations before in the past. And they did either, again, the proper research or made sure they had the proper people in the writer's room so they don't offend people when it's not necessary. Because that's the other thing. It's not even necessary. It's like you can avoid certain.
It's so avoidable. The world is so, like I said earlier, the world is so small now. It's so avoidable.
Right. Because it's like, hey, when you nail it right, you enrich your art, and you can tell that how much they cared about things, because even the way these fight scenes are choreographed are just amazing. Like, I don't know these types of martial arts at all, but it seemed like it flowed correctly. It fit well. These the way they use weapons and everything, like these sword fights were great. It's so funny. We've been at it this long talking about it, and we haven't even talked about the mech suits.
Ah, right.
How do you feel about the mech suits?
I think they're cool. I just, I have a love-hate relationship with when they throw CGI into anime. And like, I get it. I understand why they did it for this because like, I think it was probably A, cheaper, and B, easier for them to animate the fights with those suits if they use CGI. But I do kind of think it would have looked better if it was just like traditionally animated. But the suits themselves are really cool.
I feel you. I when it came to the suits, I get it, especially like with the world that they're in and how the tech company was developing weapons for the ninjas. I get all that. So of course it was like,
I mean, the clan is not for to effectively carry out their plan. The clan was not big enough to do without having like something. You know what I mean?
true. It's just that I enjoyed the fight scenes a lot more than where the suits weren't involved.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's like the emotional impact, of course, when you see a person's face. Now, animated faces while fighting and things of that sort, it's like that adds so much more cost. And I'm pretty sure this helped bring costs down a bit. But even though it's not like they tried to shortchange this a bit when they just came to the suits that they were having. Like each character had their own suit that was very, very unique to them.
And it elevated their secret art too.
True. It's just that I could have did without it.
Yeah.
That was like my main critique of the show. Actually, and I know it's a big part of the show. Are these mech suits that they're using?
That's where the show gets the name too, because his suit is called Kamui.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Going back a little bit to Big D, like, because his was like more so psychic and stuff, right? And when he died, or when he was dying, he looked at it as like dying his honorable death, and how he did not give a fuck about that tech CEO guy.
No, he didn't care.
Right? But how he got fucked over because it's like the tech CEO got planted that bomb in it. So when he was dying, it was like it was going to take them all out, and only got the girl, the chameleon girl, which was like pretty fucked up, but a great emotional impact scene though.
Yes.
But again, though I mean the fight scenes with the suits on were great.
They were.
Right?
Especially the Reaper versus Hagen. Like, that fight was great. In the temple?
Yeah. It was amazing. And but again, when we talk about just like that direct connection, it just feels like a little bit is lost when we don't see their faces constantly.
Yeah, they could have did a little Iron Man like callback where we see the face behind the mask. Like
they did though. They did do that a bit. It's funny because I don't ever feel that way when it comes to Iron Man though, right? But I think a lot of that is when watching the incredible voice acting that Robert Downey Jr. is doing. What I did like about, like, again, the tech suits being so customized to that person is like the tech suit that I liked. I mean, the mech suit that I liked the most was the bodyguard. Her suit being like customized to her, like showing her hair again, too, like hair with black people, like with the FBI agent, shortcut hair, Big D, high top fade, her Afrocentric hair, like dope shit. So overall, how'd you feel about this show?
I really enjoyed it. I want another season if they can figure out how to do it. I read something where like the creator, no, the CEO of the company that William Street partnered with said, "Oh yeah, there's a new season," and then William Street's like, "Y'all, we ain't announced that yet."
That's funny. I didn't know about that. Because I thought to myself when it ended, I was like, can there be another season?
Well, that was my whole point. Is like, I'm like, what would they do?
Right. Would it be about like?
It would have to be about the Reaper, right?
Well, Reaper, what? He's just one arm now.
Yeah, but I mean, he's so deadly, even with one arm.
True, but it's. I guess it would also just be about bringing the clan back.
Yeah, I could see that. Starting the clan fresh, yeah.
Right, because it's in complete disarray and stuff, but there's still ninjas out there.
And you could also focus on those that are still followers of the old clan leader, right? The one that was trying to reshape the world.
And I would imagine too, like the government would be all about like taking out them because it's like how they had turned on the government and other world leaders throughout the world. Mm-hmm. And the tech CEO, he's still alive. Mm-hmm.
His ending was so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it'd be fascinating. Because also too, I would imagine they're not the only clan around.
No, there's got to be other clans, right?
Right. And then so,
or you could do that like these broken factions are starting their own clans and then they're fighting.
True. I would be very, very curious to see like how if they try to continue the story, how would they continue the story on? Would they be following the same person? But if you're gonna do all of that, why not just create a new show?
Yeah. At that point.
Because I am happy with it if that's all we get.
Yeah.
You know, and so, but if they decide to continue on, yeah, I would love for them to even open up the world a bit more. Yeah. What does other cities in this world that y'all created look like? Because we were really just in San Francisco.
Yeah, for the most part, we were in San Francisco, and it felt like they were in like Oklahoma or something at one point.
Oh, right. They were on the farm and all, right? But they could have still been in California, though.
They could have been in California, yeah. They could have been. You're absolutely right.
Because a lot of people don't realize California has so many farms.
It does.
There's a lot of farmland in this state. So, yeah. Again, though, I am happy with it as is. Even though selfishly I would like another season because...
Yeah, I would like to go back to that world. It was such a cool, interesting world.
Yeah. But we'll see. Hopefully they don't try to force anything or it's be so far apart from where it was that it's like, hey, you might as well just made another show, even though it's so incredibly difficult to make a new IP, especially with that kind of budget. But then again, for it to be what it is, and for it to only be one season and the kind of budget that they already put behind it, it does make a lot of sense if they did do another season of it.
Yeah, I mean, it got pretty well received and it got nominated for Best New Anime. So.
Okay, that's good. I didn't know that. But anyways, though, this has been iFuxxs Anime, and hey, we highly recommend watching Ninja
Kamui.
It's everywhere. No, it's not everywhere.
It's on Max.
It's on Max. Look it up. Take a shot at it. I mean, chances are, if you listen all the way through, you've already seen it. If not, then we spoiled a shit ton for you.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Right, but you probably realized that as we were going. So, anyways, join us for the next one, whatever that one's gonna be. Peace.